I know what you guys are thinking. Who took over Britney's body and decided to play with eyeshadow color? Guys, it's still me. Hey guys, what's going on? Today we are going to do a tutorial on this look right here using the one and only Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette once again. As you saw, I posted a video yesterday. I think I'm gonna post this today. So yesterday on a more neutral look using this palette, and I said, screw it, I'm not even gonna wait. I love this palette so much. I'm going to post a video doing something that is way outside my comfort zone. And this is what we came up with, which I am obsessed with. I rarely get excited about eyeshadow because I have hooded eyes and it is hard to work with these puppies. I'm looking down so you guys can see what I'm talking about here because when I open my eyes, my eyeshadow disappears. This palette allows me to get so creative, and it got me excited about eyeshadow again. Like, I can't tell you, it was the Subculture palette. That's the last time this happened, but with the Subculture palette, like I said in my last video, it challenged me to get creative because you had to really think about what colors worked with one another. And with this palette, you don't have to think about that. They all just work together and it's just mindless, but you are still able to get super creative. And I love that. And it's bonus points when the eyeshadows are so nice and they blend so well and they are so pigmented and they just like, they're just wonderful. This palette, you guys, if you didn't get it when it sold out in 3 minutes, he's restocking. Pick it up. This is definitely a collector's item type of shadow, but it is so worth it. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. I've just been thinking about it literally since I got it on Friday, and I've been playing with it ever since. Today is Monday. This is the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 4th day in a row I'm now playing with this, and I can't get enough with it. I can't wait to continue to get creative. So this is what I'm gonna show you today. Obviously it's hooded eyes friendly, but if you don't have hooded eyes, you can absolutely rock this eyeshadow. It's mostly matte, but I did add a little bit of shimmer on the inner corners. Very easy as always. As you can see, it's a pink look. No doubt it is a pink look, but it doesn't look like sickly. Sometimes I get nervous, and I talk about this in the tutorial, when I apply pink shadow that I'm gonna look like I have like pink eye or something like that. But I'm gonna show you some like tips and tricks as to how I avoid that. So that was a long dissertation. That was a long intro. If you're still here, thank you so much. If you're interested in seeing this look right here and how I get it, please keep watching. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take glucose, and on a fluffy brush, so it's not like a super dense application because this is a pretty pigmented white color, I'm just gonna place that all over the lid very lightly so I can just have a smooth surface to blend all of my colors on top of. With this eye, I did it before I started my foundation, so I've already set my eye, which I always do with my concealer and my setting powder. Watery eye as usual, it's already starting, but I just want to repeat the steps that I did on this side. So after doing that, the first color we're going to dip into is Cake Mix. This is quickly becoming my absolute favorite color for the transition or the crease. So I'm just going to wipe that brush I'm using. This is a Wet n Wild blending brush, and I'm just going to start to dip into Cake Mix, and I'm going to start to carve out my crease area. If you are wondering how I do that, I just kind of follow my natural shadows in my eyes because I do have hooded eyes and I don't really like to totally fake a crease. So I pretty much follow my orbital bone, and I'm gonna bring that all the way to right about here. I'm not gonna take it into this corner right here because as you can see on this side, we're applying the shimmery shade Candy Floss there. So if you're interested in seeing a more in-depth video on how I kind of build my crease, you can watch my last Jeffree Star video. I'll put like a card in the corner, or I will link it down below, one of the two, so you can kind of see that. I usually go into detail in all of my videos. So I'm just gonna start to work this into the crease. And then I'm gonna start to blend that out with a fluffy brush once I get the shape that I like. And if you get nervous about the outer corner extending past your lash line, just use a piece of tape. Just be gentle, make sure you like take the tape and kind of make it a little less sticky so you're not like pulling at your skin. So I'm just gonna start to blend this out. I'm blending over the entire thing, so it's really just a sheer wash of this color. And then I'm gonna go right over it with Tongue Pop So we just have like a nice gradient effect for our transition color. So now I'm dipping into Tongue Pop. And again, just going right over, still stopping right about there. And the reason I'm stopping there is because I don't want to close off my eyes. This is definitely a more extreme look for me. I'm typically a more neutral browns, golds type of person. So I don't want to like build it up too heavy on the inner corner when I'm doing something a little heavier, as in a lot more color that I'm used to. And again, I'm just gonna start to blend that. And we're gonna add more of this color as we go along. This is just kind of building out the foundation for the shape of what we're doing. And then adding again to that crease color, we're gonna just dip into Ouch. And I'm gonna keep this one a little closer to like the actual crease. So it's slightly lower. I'm not gonna bring this up here, like where I have this color. I'm gonna kind of tuck this a little bit lower, and this is just starting to build dimension. So see how it's a little darker here and then it still fades out. I don't want to bring this up too high because then it's just going to take away from all that work I just did. You could even go in with a more precise brush. This is the MAC 222. You could just dip right in there and then really work that into that crease area. I'm gonna go back to the brush I was using already though. And again, still avoiding that inner corner. So now I'm gonna just take Tongue Pop. That sounds so dirty. So now I'm just gonna take Tongue Pop and I'm gonna work that down on this outer corner here. Just like that. And then I'm gonna dip into Prick, but I'm going back in with that MAC 222, so I have a little bit more of a precise application. And I'm gonna start to build that up on the outer corner, right over Tongue Pop. And this is all about building and blending colors. So I'm bringing that in on the outer third. And as you can see, 0 fallout and 100% pigment with this palette. It's awesome. And I'm not gonna work that too much into my crease since I've already worked my crease a lot by adding in those 3 colors. And that's exactly why I built those colors up, so I could just apply these colors and then the work is already done in the crease. And everybody's different. Some people like to work the lid first and then the crease. I just prefer with my hooded eyes to do it this way. And then just blend. And that takes like no time since we've already done the work. And then I'm just taking a flat brush from the craft store and I'm taking Cavity. And this is where we're gonna add that pop of pink. And I'm taking this just up to the crease area. And again, leaving that inner third blank, because we're gonna add that shimmer color and we'll blend some into there as we move. So just build that color up to your liking and then blend these 2 together. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And then with another pencil brush, I'm gonna dip into Candy Floss, and this is where we're gonna fill in what hasn't had any shadow on it yet, this inner corner, bringing it all the way in there to really open it up. Actually, you know what I did first with the other one? I took a little bit of glucose first and laid that down to kind of lighten the area. That's okay that we're doing this reverse. I just wanna make sure I get both colors. And then I blended that. So you can see it just kind of has a little bit more of like a white cast to it. And I'm using that same blending brush that I was using, so there's a little bit of that pink residue left to blend it all in. And then I'm just gonna deepen these a little bit with that Candy Floss. And then we're gonna deepen this outer corner slightly. So I'm taking a really precise brush, MAC 231, I believe. This is just really tiny and it works well for my hooded eyes. And I'm dipping that into Cherry Soda. And I find Cherry Soda, if you work it too much, it kind of does a a weird thing with blending. It almost like takes some of the color away and changes the color. So I don't want to work this too much. So I'm going to try to be really strategic with where I place cherry soda. As you can see, we're just adding a little bit of contrast. Very, very small. And then on top of that, I'm going to go in with fresh meat and deepen that a little bit further. And I'm doing kind of a V shape. And then again, this blending brush has nothing on it. Just gonna blend the edges on the outer corner. And then I'm taking that same blending brush that I was using. I'm gonna blend that inner corner so there's no harsh lines. And I'm just gonna take my finger and add a little bit more of cavity. To both sides. And blend. And then I'm just taking an LA Girl 202 blending brush and I'm going to start to blend these outer edges. Once again, I'm gonna dip into cake mix a little bit and we're gonna build this up. A little bit into tongue pop, same thing. Just gonna kind of raise it a little bit higher here to match this side. But I'm not extending that outer corner anymore. Cool, so let's go ahead and work on the lower lash line. So you can definitely repeat the process that you did up here on the lower lash line. I just find personally when I apply pink shadow under my eyes, I feel like it kind of makes me look a little bit sick and like I have like pink eye. So I prefer to use the browns in this palette and a little bit of tongue pop and a little bit of cake mix. I'm just avoiding the like really reds and really pinks that we used on the eyes. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is a mixture of cake mix and ouch. And I'm just taking that on this pencil, tiny pencil brush. Don't even know where this is from. It is so old. And we're gonna first work those two under the eye. And I'm keeping this pretty tight to the lash line. I'm not gonna smoke this out too much because again, when you're working with the pink shadows, even though these ones aren't pink, the ones on the upper lid are pink, I just don't like to smoke it out too much because I feel like it just kind of makes me look a little sickly. That could all be in my head. You do as you please. And then we're gonna dip into tongue pop a little bit. And since tongue pop is a little bit more on like the peachy side, I like to bring this one a little bit lower and then connect it to the upper lash line right here. I always connect my shadow and I think that this is just the perfect transition from the fresh meat, cherry soda, and cavity color. But again, we're not bringing this too low. And then we're gonna dip into intravenous. I think I called this intravenous in my last video and then I was like, oh no, it's intravenous, so sorry about that. And I'm going to take that really precise brush once again, the one that we used fresh meat with. I'm gonna wipe that off so there's no more fresh meat. Dip into intravenous, which is just a really nice chocolatey brown color. And then this is going really tight to the lash line. And we're staying on the outer third. And then I'm just taking candy floss and bringing that down. And that is it as far as the eyeshadow goes. So I'm going to go ahead and apply some false lashes. These are the Kiss Lash Trios. I'm gonna apply some of those. I'm gonna take a closer look, see if I need to blend anywhere, curl my lashes, apply a coat of mascara, and then some nude liner, and I will meet you right back here. All right guys, lashes are on, lipstick is on. I'm gonna quickly run you through what I did. So I took those Kiss Ever Easy lashes and I applied the short length all the way through to about here. I'm leaving this inner corner open again because I don't wanna close off my eyes. And then I took 4 of the medium length and I put those on the outer corner just to kind of give myself that like open eye, flirty, cat eye kind of look. I have a whole video on those Kiss Ever Easy, I think that's what it's called, lashes. I love them, especially when I want to do like a customized lash look like this. As far as blush highlight and contour. I wanted to keep it pretty neutral because this eye is so strong. So I went in with the Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. And if you could see, I took this contour color. It's a very cool contour, so it's not gonna fight with the eyeshadow, and I think it just complements it really well. If I was to go in with a really warm one like this, it would not play nice together and it would just look off. So that's what I did as far as like contour bronzer. For blush, I used the Maybelline Master Contour in the color light to medium, and I just took this nice pinky color right here, which complements the tones on the eyes very well. You could even take this color and throw it in the crease if you wanted to make everything really consistent. Sometimes I do that. I don't think I need it for this one, but that always kind of brings my looks together if something's ever kind of off. As far as highlight, I used the Wet n Wild. First, I started with the Botanic Dream color, which looks like this, but it was a little too like purple pink and strong. You can probably see a little bit of it left over. So I went ahead and went on top of that with Precious Petals, which kind of brought it down to a color that was more appropriate for my skin tone right now. So that's on my cheeks, Cupid's bow, nose, a little bit right here, and a little bit on the chin. I want it to be nice and glowy. On the lips, I have on the NYX Rose Liner. I filled my lips with that, and then I went around it with Stripdown, so I kind of have a two-dimensional look. And brows are Anastasia Brow Wiz in medium brown, and then I just used my Lash Sensational for mascara, and that is it. So sorry for that long dissertation. I think everybody kind of always asks what I have on, and I do always list it in the bottom bar, but I always like to kind of go over it in the video as well. So anyway, back to the eyeshadow. This is what everything looks like. I really like this one. I don't step out of the box very often. I talked about this in my last video. I am a neutrals girl. So this to me is way outside the box, and for me to like it is very strange because I don't play with color very often because I have hooded eyes and my eyes can be very heavy and it's hard to play with color. But something like this palette challenges you to step outside of your comfort zone, and I love a palette like that. This is definitely a collector's item palette, but I am probably gonna end up buying another one when they restock because I want one to rock and one to stock. I love this palette. I love everything about it. I love how they blend. Talked about this in my last video. They play so nicely together. You don't have to think. All of the colors just go so well together, and it works when you have hooded eyes. I love that there are so many matte shades in this palette because, again, it just works for hooded eyes, and it allows me to play with this kind of color and just be excited about eyeshadow again. I'm gonna be quiet now. I think you guys know I'm in love with this palette. I really like this look. I hope you guys try this out. If you have hooded eyes, please give this a shot. I promise you will love it. I know it's out of stock right now, but I think he's taking pre-sale orders. This is one that I promise you will not regret getting. So if you guys have any questions at all, please leave them below. If you like this video and you want to see more videos from me, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It means the world to me. Otherwise, I hope to see you guys in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.